Now goes the powerhouse, and the COVID-19 man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced to the promised land of the other bed, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been, in the power of the Father, in the powerhouse, cause that's what Word Electric, Double Electric, in the only bed we're connected. Word Electric, Double Electric, in the powerhouse we're connected. Truth in the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn, cause in this thing the end is gonna be for sure. It's got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly, cause in the truth there's nothing that can be denied. Here's the COVID-19 man is hooking you up to the other bed, to the powerhouse with your waving. The COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up, cause that's what Word Electric, Double Electric, in the other bed we're connected. Word Electric, Double Electric, to no one else I'm genuflecting. Word Electric, Double Electric, to the powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you will find in there the powerhouse not scared. You won't be silenced, nobody can touch what you will find in there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies, the righteous now they cries, cause the COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up to the powerhouse. Leave the power show, ride this mule around. And welcome to HD TV 28 at ABRA-CA-DABRA volts 613. It's good to have you all. It's good to have you here. Welcome. And welcome, my fellow Dabarians, once again. It's good to have you here. And watch and win, learn and earn. For today, it's okay. The last week, I guess we're gonna have it for this week, right? The last week of February, which is February 24. All right. I believe on this Friday is the Purim. That's celebrated. That's the Jewish holiday of lots. How fate turns around the last minute when you least expect it. And so today we're looking at the picture here. This is from The Prince of Egypt. I don't know if you might recognize this movie, but this movie came out the year that my son Gabriel was born, in 1998. And I remember going to see this movie, and it had an impact on me, the way that this picture especially, the one where you see Pharaoh, who happens to be his stepfather, he calls him father there. You see him placing his hand on Moses there. And in the background and outside of the house, you see the picture of the face of the Pharaoh, So the people inside the house are manifesting the father. That's the real flesh and blood Pharaoh there. And the back, the people outside work on making the father. So if you don't have the maker, you work on a monument for the maker. And this is basically what I'm going to teach you today. To understand, to be in the Ab, your relationship to your Ab. Everybody has a relationship with the alphabet. And that's what we're going to look at. From the Torah's point of view. Not from any other religion, but from only the Torah. So you can see, because in the Torah, God is revealed himself as the Ab, the Aleph Bet, which is a code for all nations to call it alphabet. Every nation knows about the alphabet. It's forced upon them. It's part of the curriculum for everybody. Okay, so the Aleph Bet is something you don't have to go to any religion. It's all given to you, and that's how the Torah introduces the maker of all things. I calls him the Ab, and that's my point of view. So let me get you into So it's good to see some of you here. I can see Brian, Rosa Crispin, Brianna Duran, Andy coming in. All right. The usual suspects. I'm good to have you guys. Let me get to an office here that I'm used to go right after I come out of this. Let me get here one moment. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Let me go here. See how we're all doing. This is my usual spot that I like because it's just everything that goes on here. You know, traffic going on, has buildings, has construction going in the background, has parking lots. It has a little bit of the greenery. That's why the ones I choose here, because this is more or less a little piece of the world, you know, to which I'm directing myself to. And things that we have to do on a daily basis. We have to travel. We got to go to jobs. We got to go shopping. We have to go to work everywhere and do our. There's a lot of people that do programs like this to teach Torah. They put in backgrounds. They put a lot of books, you know, and it's good. It's good to study books, but I like to put living things that moving. I make a lot of use of the cherry root of the imagination, because everything that is out there comes out from a book. The freeway comes out from guidelines in a blueprint. The parking lots, guidance from a blueprint. Everything comes from a book. So this is a book manifested in action. Everything that we get to see. So, all right. So I think we're doing good with the sound, right? Just making sure that all the sound is coming out here. Let me check. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in business. I'm coming out. All right. Sorry to have started late today, you guys, but you know, there's a lot of things I didn't know where to start because I have so many things that I needed to share. So at the end, I've settled for this one that you saw the title. You know, Serve the Maker or Its Frail Monuments. Okay, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. And so, with no further ado, I'm going to open up with a little movie, you know, to give us an idea of what inspired me to come up with this title today. That we are either inside of the app. The app, remember, is a strong builder or the strong building or the strong tower, the strong house, which means father, right? And so you are inside the app, you know, and the Father is manifesting His presence in your life, or you know about the app because you know the sound of the alphabet, and you've been cast out into this world to work, to make buildings, you know, strong buildings, which represent Aleph Beth, which represent a father, and go work on a strong building, you know, because most people have their companies come in a strong building represented by a strong building with a trademark on top. That represents a father. And so that's a monument to the alphabet. Every building, every business out there, you know, that has a strong building, has a monument to the alphabet because they don't have the real character of the alphabet emanating and coming out of them. They have to go and build a monument in His name, you know, and work for that monument and serve that monument. So it's either the maker, who is the alphabet, the real one, who is in whom we have entered, and we understand His character, and therefore is flowing out of us, or, you know, we are used as tools of the alphabet to go work for strong buildings, and those are monuments. And so that's what we're going to look at right now. So let me just play this little. I hope I don't get any copyright infringements on that, but you know, it's just 52 seconds. So let me play this as a way of intro to what I'm going to say. All right.
Father, you know it was really my fault. Must you be so hard on him?
Moses, you will never have to carry a burden like the crown I will pass to Ramesses. He must not allow himself to be led astray. Not even by you, my son.
All he cares about is your approval. I know he will live up to your expectations. He only needs the opportunity.
Maybe. Maybe so. Go now. I shall see you both tonight.
All right, so there you see it. Okay, that was a little bit of you know, how I use, and it starts. He's mentioning the word father, and then he's trying to convince him to pardon his son Ramses. You know, give him a chance that he just wants to be approved by him. That's really what we want parents for, to give us their AAA, you know, approval, acceptance, and appreciation. That's something I used to preach before in pilgrim school. people go out there to get the AAA, approval, acceptance, and appreciation. Okay, and if especially you don't get it at home, you go out into the world. That's the reason why people got the YouTube channels and everything, because they want to get a plenty of approval, acceptance, and appreciation. Because a lot of them don't really have time with their father, so they got to get it from the world out there. So the world out there, the monument of the things that represent the world, is where they get their approval and appreciation. So everybody works for the AAA, which originally comes from parents. But if you're not satisfied with what the parents give you, then they go out into the world to get more AAA. So because that comes only for the father. So if you're not enough to be satisfied to be a place, a dwelling place for the Father up on high, you're going to look for AAA from your parents here on earth. And if that is not enough, you're going to go for the AAA to find the support for those outside of here. But let me take you here to my other office, to my other background here that I like to use. All right, let me take the observatory through. All right. Okay, so now here, yeah, good. I have some of you here. You can see me, and I can see your eye on the screen as well. Some of you have joined in already. All right, let me see what else is coming down. All right, Bear Fruit, good to see you, Bear Fruit. All right. Okay, all right. Okay, Purim, hey, good for the commercial there. I appreciate that, Andy. The commercial of Purim there. Yeah, Bear Fruit graduated in 1998. Yeah, I remember some of you graduated that year. You know, that's when my son was born, and I saw that movie. And that background kind of moved me. You know, I just captured that image, you know, how it is in reality. It's either those that know the Father are manifesting the Father, and those that don't go out into the world and have to make the Father first, and then, you know, eat of the Father. Because your Father has to feed you, right? So the whole idea is that the Father is going to, you know, feed you. Well, the whole idea is when you are, let me get a picture here, what better things that we can use here. Let me use this one here. Okay, let me get the picture of this so we can be talking about it more direct. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Oh, here we go. So, all right. So here what we're looking at. All right. So that's the thing that I was focusing. So serve the Maker or his frail monuments. All right. And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit today. All right. So the one thing that we all get is the alphabet. You know, and interestingly enough, you know, that as I've been studying the Hebrew, I found a universal language that God had left behind everything. For all languages, I don't care who you are, speak Chinese, everybody learns the alphabet, and that's how they call it. Alphabet, they call it by the first two letters. You know, I don't care what persuasion or what culture you are, God had managed in a way to make it mandatory that everybody was going to know his name, Ab. Okay? So therefore you are introduced to the Father, because the alphabet, whether you like it or not, from the alphabet comes everything. From the rearrangements of the alphabet, you know, fiction novels come, you know, measurements come, you know, blueprints come, you know, everything that has to do to making any product or service, everything comes from the alphabet. So the alphabet, when the Torah says that the alphabet is the founder and father of all things, you know, is the most empirical evidence that that's the case. I don't have to go anywhere to get it to, you know, you don't have to feel any feeling to know that it's a fact. It's an undeniable fact. Everybody cannot deny that. The alphabet is the parent from which every book and every blueprint and every, every instruction, every lesson, everything has come from the alphabet. And so when God calls himself the alphabet or the alphabet, and by that he calls himself Father, he ain't lying. And notice how amazingly he made it so that all nations have that common ground, that they all find it very interesting and mandatory that every child should learn about the Father. But since they do not know the character of the Father, they just use this alphabet that they, you know, input upon the child to teach them how to understand their instructions so they can build up a strong White House or a strong big house Like I'm using Pharaoh because the word Pharaoh means big house, because it stood for the big house that had all the supplies for all of Egypt. And so the person that ran the big house became to call Pharaoh. But Pharaoh, the literally meaning is the big house. And big house is just a strong tower. It's the meaning of the father. So that's an also Egypt, which in Hebrew means Mizraim, which is what we are doing with Purim. We are taking, this time, the tables are turning around. The value systems are about to change. The elites of the world they're calling it the Great Reset, because they want to control, the Mizraim of our times, the financial system, the money system that controls the people, and they want to have a tighter grasp on it. So we go crypto and all of that, everything controlled by computers, and no more currency and everything under control. But God is about to switch that value system around. And one of the main reasons why He's raised the COVID-19-MAN at this hour, and He gave me this understanding. Because right now, to me, the greatest value there is the alphabet. And to understand that that's the common thread that runs through everything, through all things. So that's why in the alphabet we're connected when I sing that song. The powerhouse and in the alphabet we're connected. Because I found a common thread that runs through everything. So, when the Torah gave and introduced the first, papyrus solution, which was the Red Sea. The papyrus solution is the Torah. The reason why it was given, and God called Himself the Ab in there as the Father, because that's how it was going to be for all nations. The alphabet was going to be the founder and father of everything that all nations were going to make. So that God, or the use of His alphabet, had a hand in everything. So His hand is in everything that has ever come to pass. And He keeps perfect balance. Because of those that walk away from His character, they have to go and embrace the monuments in this world. All the different corporations that are made from tall buildings and all the different gadgetry and products that come from it are monuments. I like living monuments because we are the ones working in it and making it, function, but nonetheless it's a monument because the father in the character is dead. You built a monument for somebody that has died. So since the father is dead in you, his character is not alive in you, you got to build a monument for who he is and work for that monument and serve him and worship it and depend on it for your livelihood. You ain't not escaping who the Olive Beth is. If he is not alive, his character is not alive in you, you are working for a monument in memory of his name because he is dead within you. Think of that. Now that is powerful preaching. That's the way things are. That's why it's called serve the maker or it's frail monuments. Okay? Because there's no real commandments about how the monument has to be made because God never wanted you to serve a monument. So he didn't say, when you make a statue in my name, make sure you use some good concrete, and he gave all the measurements. He didn't want you to do that. So he doesn't give you instructions about what the monuments need to be made of or how they could be kosher because he never wanted you to be serving a monument. But you can't escape it. The forms of the letters, Aleph, Beth, which means strong tower, strong building. You walk away from his character, manifesting who he is inside and presenting himself over you. You go out into this world, do something that represents the Aleph, Beth, the strong building, and you work for that because that is the monument of the Father that is dead within you. You got to live to serve that monument. That's fantastic. So everybody has a relationship to the alphabet. You're either serving him because you know him as your maker, you're satisfied and complete in the Torah and in this testimony, to the law and to its testimony, to the Torah and to its alphabet, to understanding the character of the Father and know that you're complete in it and know that nothing else is lacking. And the Torah, therefore, is your toroidal transformer, making you a current of electricity to bring out his power, emanating out of you every which way. You treasure the keeping of words and the meanings and definitions of everything. That is what you live for. That is what drives you. That is what encourages you. That what puts you above the rest of the world. And therefore you are here to acquire, and to be consumed and to have all your talents, abilities be consumed by that. So that's why I wrote this here, which I share in my last commercial that I was making for you guys to join us today. It says, if the Ab, if if you don't enter the app for the app to consume all your faculties. Okay, let me see if I can share from what the commercial that I chose for you guys here. Let me see if I put you back in here. Let me go down for a minute. Oh, I love this one because whenever I move something, it just shows it in the app. Perfect. All right, let me see if I can show you what I was sharing with you guys early here. Yeah, let me see. From the commercial here. Not the ones later, but the last one that I shared. Let me see. Oh, here it goes. Yeah, this is the one. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can get you into here. No, it's not giving me. Well, it's not letting me see the whole thing in here, but let me see here. So give me a second. I'm gonna have to just move it a little bit so I can share some more and read it to you guys. But I wrote in here in part of this commercial that I put the last one. Let me open it up so I can read it to you. Yeah, here we go. It says here, if you don't enter the app, which means the Father, okay? If you don't enter into the alphabet for the app, that means for the Father, for the alphabet, to munch, that is to use and consume all your faculties. That means all your thinking, all your feelings, all your heart. That's why thou shalt love the Lord with all thy heart. That means you're going to dedicate all your feelings and all your thoughts to Him. He's going to consume all your faculties, for Him to reveal Himself. He's going to take all of it. Okay? So it says, if you don't enter the alphabet of something that is written, a certain, and the alphabet in the Torah is revealing the character of God. If you don't enter the alphabet or the alphabet, for the alphabet to munch or use or consume all your faculties and talents so that the alphabet or the Father can manifest Himself in this world, then ABRA-CA-DABRA, you will be under the spell of existing to make the alphabet or the Father in order to munch, or it means use and consume away all of the Father's, the strong builder or the strong building, all of its goods and favors. It's as simple as that. You understand? It's just as simple as this says in there. It's just like, as I was saying, it's like, so it says in the Torah, God says that He is a consuming fire. I don't know if you heard that passage. That Yud Hevave is a consuming fire. All right? That means when there's the alphabet, remember I taught you a couple of weeks ago about what Ahab means on that did that on Valentine's Day. I explained the word Ahab, which means love. Ahab is, you take the alphabet, you take those two words for alphabet, and you put the little hey, the little guy in the middle of the alphabet. And the hey is the guy that's animated, the one that's alive. That means breath, it means animation, activation, liveliness, all of that. So, and I told you also that hey was the first word that God ever invented, because hey means breath. So God had to breathe in order to say the rest of the word. So the first thing He says, so that's hey came out. So hey was the first word because everything else came after that. Everything else was pronounced. But hey is just automatic. It's just the breath. That's the first word that came out. And that's what we were given. We were given that breath. And that breath was our neshama, our soul. We were given the breath of God. And so with that breath of God, came our connection to the heart of God. It came that connection to the mind of God. So we were imparted in that breath, in that single breath, we were imparted the heart and the mindset of God so that we will have it all together in our soul. Okay, so you take the strong tower, you take the alphabet, and you put the little guy in the middle. That means he's working in the tower, just working in there and keeping it going. So what is, when you go into a building, your soul, when you walk into a building, which is a monument here in this world, you are walking in there, and you are in there, and the alphabet, the strong building, you are given the picture of love, okay? So that's how you get to love. And then when you are in that business, you got to dedicate your mindset while you're working there to all the instructions, to do everything according, to the mission statement, to serve the client according to what you've been instructed to do. So all your attention is consumed in the manual, so that you will deliver the best product and service that the company is hiring you to deliver. So every company you go to work for 8 hours it's required that they consume all your attention into what the manual has to tell you to do. That's exactly what God. God consumes all your faculties, all of your mind, all of your thinking, and everything, so that He will be manifesting Himself out of you. But not only for 8 hours, 24/7, because everything that He has made belongs to Him. Every molecule in your body, every cell, which means how many you have? 37.2 trillion cells. And every powerhouse in the cell, each cell has between 50 to 150 mitochondria. And the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So imagine like that. So He made you, first of all, to be an alphabetionaire. That means once you get the alphabet, everything that comes out of the alphabet is your inheritance. So you can read it, you can meditate, you can think on it, you can manifest it, you can work it out. All that the alphabet is revealing is your inheritance. You can speak it, you can meditate upon it, you got to use the alphabet to think, to put thoughts and ideas together. All of that is your heritage. You're an alphabetionaire. Alphabetionaire, it's just never ending. That's one of your heritage. So you can speak to the wind. That's your heritage, to enrich the heavens where the wind resides, with all the words that you can say and never run out of them. And also He made you a zillionaire for the cells in your body. Okay? A zillionaire in the sense that your body has 37.2 trillion cells. And daily some of them die, and then you produce about 300 billion cells a day. Okay? So this body, because He was to be for the alphabet, is such a magnificent temple, like nothing in the world. So imagine, in your flesh, you are a trillionaire of cells. And that is every day you earn 300 billion more cells. Where is there an investment in this world where your investment in Wall Street is earning you 300 billions every day? Nothing compares to this fantastic economy. You understand this? You are a producer of cells, a billionaire. Every day you produce 300 billion cells with mitochondria. Who makes things like that in this world? There's no monument that you can ever build that can approach to your little pinky the way it creates cells. So you understand the magnificent economy of the alphabet, in the way that He made everything in the 6 days, and everything just circulates, and everything drops dead, and everything comes to life. We're zillionaires of cells and zillionaires of words. This is an amazing economy. And all we have to do is just brag about it. Okay? So it's an incomparable, matchless, undisputed economy like nothing else. It has a healthcare system that not all the worlds combined together, not all the world care system, not all the health organizations, the WHO doesn't even can lick his feet. Because in God's healthcare system, each cell, each one of your 37.2 trillion cells has its own doctor. Remember that? Doctor is the word knowledgeable, the one that knows everything about you. Your DNA knows everything about you. So doctor, no ailment. For each cell, you have, so for each cell, you are hiring, if you please, 32. Your body hires 37.2 trillion doctors to take care of you. Which healthcare system is doing this in this world? None come close. Come on, people, you gotta wake up and realize how great and magnificent is the alphabet. It's incomparable. Nothing comes close to that. You understand? So this is why we rejoice. This is why we have an economy like no other. We don't have to, people that invest in the moment, they go at night hoping that, okay, I hope my investment duplicates, earns a little bit, hoping like that. But this is a Mickey Mouse. Okay, this is a Mickey Mouse economy. Compared to the mighty housing. Okay, this is the other pet is like a mighty house. Okay, it's the real thing. This is a mighty housing. I woke up with this week and think of the word, mighty housing. Because it's a great, but I was thinking brick house, but I was thinking the mighty housing. God is mighty, He's strong, powerful, and He houses everything in such an economy. Our bodies is a mighty housing of all these cells, of all these things. And I show you what the cell is like. I show you 1/80th of that. I think Let me show you a picture of that just to remember, so that we can continue with the mind understanding that we're getting here. Let me see here. I do have a picture of that thing. I have it here. Come on, let it be here. Aha, here we go. The Powerhouse Block Party Festival. All right. So the thing that you see on top here, this is a picture, an electronic atomic picture of a cell of just one of your 37.2 trillion cells. Somebody took a picture of it, but this is only 1/80th. It's like you divide the cell, that cell into 80 parts, and this is 1/80th of that. That's how it looks under there. Imagine it's like a city party going on. All the stuff that happens in that cell. So that's why somebody, when Joshua Arthur shared this, somebody put a picture right next to that looked like, like a festival. Because this is some outside there with the Ferris wheel and all kinds of things going on. So you can see how the world, tries to compare all that. But the thing is, this is just, understand, this is like a block party, That's why I call it like a block party festival of the Powerhouse, the alphabet. So this is what we have, you guys, in our selves. We just this fantastic creation. When God built a temple, no matter if the temple is going to be built, the third temple is going to be built because we are going to be, everything that God builds is to reflect what we have within us. So we have the Beta Megnash. When we dedicate every word to his mindset, then we have dedicated ourselves as the temple, and every word in us is a temple. Okay, and then the temple will be built as a projection of what we have already. But this temple, I'm telling you, nothing comes close to this temple because we were going to carry the bar, the word. That's why I call you the Baron. So, and I'm just bringing you right now, face to face with your great heritage that the whole world tries to take away from you and not try to have you take a look at it. So we have this 37.2 trillion cells in our bodies. Each cell has between 50 to 150 mitochondria, and the mitochondria is the powerhouse. The one that uses the ATP to fuel you and to keep you going and to keep you energized. And that's why it's important. That's why God, for this care of this temple, he made 300,000 edible plants. And the industrialized nations of the world make sure that we only get about 200 of those. They don't want us to be that strong, and 200 is even less than 1%, of 300,000. And so that's the way you're guaranteed to be deficient, and you're going to trust in the Mickey Mouse economy, when it can be a mighty housing, And I was, because I wake up in the morning thinking, there's a Mighty Mouse, there's a song, here we come to save the day, the Mighty Mouse. I woke up, I was singing that song, and I was thinking of mighty housing. That God, when you have the other and you are in his economy, you are aware of what he has made you for, the kind of temple he created in your body, then you can sing that. Here I come to save the day, his mighty house. It's where I live. Well, you can just enjoy yourself with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you are mighty indeed in him. There's no economy in the world that comes close to that reproduces and self-replicates in the FMR. We're so fantastic. And the alphabet also does the fruitfulness, multiplying, and replenishing of the earth. So this is our economy, you guys. Who was the one that came and stole that awareness away from us? And how will be looking at the building? I don't care how big the buildings are. I don't care that Google name a whole Alphabet Inc. so they can put all their businesses under that. That don't even come closer, to all the little cells that I have on my pinky, to the way they are arranged and the way they duplicate. They can't even lick that. You understand? And that's the boldness that you need to have. You understand that that's why in his economy we make a great noise. We are happy, and therefore once we are, so the alphabet, when it enters us, because everybody receives the alphabet, if you don't enter into the alphabet, and to enter into the alphabet is to recognize that your time, your talent, and treasure is being given up to the father and founder. Okay, because that will happen when you enter into a business, when you enter into the strong tower to work for somebody else. That's it. Then all your talent, your time, and treasure has been rendered and surrendered to that company that you're working for, so that you will learn the instructions, you will learn the manual, And so every ability that you have is consumed to give attention to all that they have to offer. So that it is when you enter into God, when you enter into the alphabet, then you enter into everything and recognize that every word that you have is a gift. It belongs to Him, and it's only a gift for you to understand and to enjoy and to see how magnificent it is. Every cell in your body is also His, okay? And it's only a gift for you to understand, the kind of maker that you have. So that you relinquish everything that you ever thought it was yours, and then you realize that everything is His. And it only makes sense to walk in His mindset and to take care of words so you can take care of everything. So you become like the sunlight that sends warmth and for everything, because you're not out there to go grab anything from anybody in the world, but you are out there just to learn words so you can learn and master the definitions and meanings, so we always be useful to your fellow man. And then you are the sunshine of the alphabet, the sunshine of the alphabet, revealing the care of the Father everywhere. Okay? But those that are not entered, that do not recognize the economy of the Almighty, what do? They have to go and go work for Mickey Mouse, the Mickey Mouse economy, or what I call the mule, manpower of hell, lame economies. Lame because they cannot do the FMR. So you can see what great thing it's just an amazing economy that we belong to, and so we can greatly rejoice all the time, and that economy. So we have to enter. When we have to enter in the character of the alphabet, that's when you enter into any business. Any business that is a big, strong tower is there to produce a product and a service that's going to be apparent to the world. Because every product has to do something to bring comfort and to make life easy to their fellow men. So every product, every business follows the day of rest. They keep the day of rest because everybody does a business in order to bring rest and make a life easier for their fellow men. So that's the real application of the day of rest. Okay? All businesses are successful because the more comfort and rest you can bring to your neighbor, the more the product is going to be needed. Because everybody's looking after the monuments since they lack the Father within them. So that's how it works. If you are not serving the Maker, or the Maker is not coming out of you as the Father, you're going to go serve a monument that stands in His name, that stands for an alphabet, a building out there that's making a product and a service. There ain't no escaping. So that is the relationship that you have with the alphabet. If you have not entered into the Father of all things, or the Father of all words, the Father of all cells, the Father of every molecule, of everything that exists, therefore, so that you are there rejoicing all the time because you have found the incomparable and matchless economy, that the world has never been able to replicate. I don't care. You can put all the scientists together and have them work. They cannot come close to this. They have it in their own bodies and they don't recognize, the awesomeness of who you are in the Aleph Bet. Because you are His mighty housing, His great production. We're no Mickey Mouse economy. We're no mule when it comes to the creation of our body or to the way that our soul is created, to be an Aleph Betionaire and to make use of all the words of the alphabet and to inherit that. We are magnificent in that sense. And therefore, we enter. And we enter with thanksgiving. A lot of people got to go to work and enter those doors and they can't, I owe, so off to work I go. They don't go to work with Thanksgiving. You just go to work because they have debts, because they have adopted so many of the little goodies from all the other monuments, from all the other buildings, and they owe because they have to gather that. The commercial tell them, you have to get all these embraces from all this gadgetry and all these little things so you can get your AAA, you can get your approval, acceptance, and appreciation from your fellow man. So they live in the monument, and the monument is who they serve. They get their attention, they get the devotion, and everything is for that. So everybody has a relationship with the alphabet. Either they're serving the Maker, or they're serving, the monument. The one that uses the alphabet as strong tower and strong building. So that's what I want you to understand, my friend. This is just, I'm rushing through because I started late. I have more things to share with you, but these are basic things that if we don't see them, if they escape our notice, then we're going to be bamboozled and easily taken by anybody else. You understand? So any story that does not bring you to that relationship, everybody has a relationship with the alphabet. And one thing that I'm going to share now with you is the verses here, which we'll talk more about that because I wanted to talk more about this today. But let me use this one. This is an interesting verse that a lot of you, especially you evangelical, were raised in a Christian background. You heard this before. This is a verse that a lot of preachers use to invite people to, to get to know, what you got, get to know Christ, as they call it. It says, and Joshua 24:15, it says, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So here Joshua, which is the first meaning of Jesus in the Bible, it comes from this guy Joshua. And I believe in following everything that Joshua says. He wrote the book, I know he said it. Joshua says, and if you seem evil. What's interesting because in a lot of other religions, they force you, that you are with us. If you don't serve our God, you're going to go to hell. That's it. I don't care. You're going to go to hell. God, Joshua wasn't saying, if you don't serve, you don't serve the God I serve, then you might as well go to hell because that's what you're going to end up. It's just giving them a choice. Because the other ones are just monuments. So it says, if you seem evil, if you think it's bad or something bad, if you don't realize what great economy you're being called to serve, if you are blind to that, then go to other stupid monuments. Just go there. So the invitation is here. So that's why the Jewish do not proselyte. They don't go after people. A lot of people want to convert. They come to them and they tell them, you don't have to become Jewish. You can be a Noahide. And still God loves you. God loves the Noahide because to them, God is Hashem, the God that rescued Noah. And if you come, and all of us are descendants from Noah. You and I, all of us are descendants from Noah. The thing is, you just got to believe the 7 things of the Noahide. Just believe that there's only one God. No worship any other idol. Worship anything else. Don't be cruel to animals. Serve justice. Do courts of justice. I'll preach one of these days about the 7 Noahides. But to them, so they discourage you. If you want to go and convert to Jewish, they say, no. Hey, look, because if you're going to be Jewish, you cannot eat this stuff. Because you can be a Noahide and eat all kinds of stuff that you guys already eat anyhow. So they don't really proselyte because they say, and they say, besides, we, everywhere we have gone, we have been persecuted. Okay, so you sure you want to join us? Because, this is too much hassle to be Jewish. So they discourage people. You got to go wake up. They don't want you to. They say, you'll be fine as a Noahide. Just don't, be fair to your fellow man. They give you the 7 little rules and says, you're fine with so they don't go after. So that's the same thing with Joshua here. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, so go ahead then. Go ahead and go after other gods, which are only monuments. Because everybody just builds a little, Mickey Mouse government. A little White House is nothing but the Mickey Mouse compared to this house. This temple that God created puts to shame any White House or any big house called Pharaoh and everything else. But this is the thing. When you lose sight of how marvelously, wonderfully you were made, you bow down to stupid things, to Mickey Mouse economies. Away with such, hogwash. Nothing needs to be there. So that's what it says here. And if it's evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, and whether on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites. But the thing is, you're going to serve, so you either serve the maker, or you're going to serve a monument, because you're dead to the real maker inside of you. And so the main word is that you serve. There's nobody, so everybody that's working is serving a dead a monument of the dead father that is not in them. That's why they depend on it. You depend on something for your livelihood, that's what becomes your God. God knows that that's what is in front of him because you do not understand him. You do not serve his character. He doesn't flow out of you. And so that's basically what it comes down to. Okay, so now I'm going to sing a song here because I was going to quickly talk about this, but I don't think we have time for this one. This is Deuteronomy chapter 13. I'm going to preach on this next Wednesday because this is what I call the litmus test of of whether you love God or not. God made you for you to love him, okay? That's it. God made you for you to love him. So he is the olive bed, and he wanted you to be right there squished in the middle between him. And that's what makes it love, Ahab. So you put yourself in the middle as the head, the one that is with life and can animate. And so you dedicate all your ability to bring to liveliness and to animation and activation. You dedicate that to the character of God. And that's what God made you for. So that all your mindset was going to be taken up. So that was he made you for, to love him in what he had given you in the Torah. Okay? And so, but he was going to test it. And this is especially for the Jewish people. Okay? Understand? Because this was given to the Jewish people. That's why I have a lot of compassion on those that are not Jewish and fell on all kinds of religions, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, on everything else, because you don't have the Torah to guide you. So you can easily follow all the other religions because you don't have anything by which you can compare what needs to be done. But the Jewish people knew this. And God said in chapter 13 that he was going to test them to see who really love God, who really love him in the original way that he presented the alphabet. And he wants to keep that. So here in Deuteronomy 13, he says, I'm just going to read this to you. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder. He does miracles. He raises people from the dead. He does all kinds of things. Like, I don't know if you heard of this guy, Sai Baba. He's a guy from India. I used to read of him when I was a teenager in my high school. But this guy raised a lot of people from the dead. He will put his hand in the sand. I will bring gold out of it. He did all kinds of things. But he raised over 20 people from the dead. But in any case, so if there comes people like that can do a lot of miracles and wonders and healings and all kinds of things, if there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass. They speak about this, it comes to pass, but they do it for this purpose. Whereof he speak of unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods. So if they come and they do a miracle and they want you to worship them, because them will be another god. Sai Baba like people to pray to him. He will say, okay, you can pray to me. I'll hear your prayers. That's what this guy will say from India. So anybody that does that, to try to make you wander away, but this is basically for the Jews because they knew something better. They didn't have none of the other people. The Noahites don't really have this. They come empty-headed. You don't really get these instructions. So he says, but they have to. This is to dream a dream, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. It says, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proveth you. Means he's testing you. To know whether ye Ahab, where you're going to be in the middle, full-time working for the strong tower and nothing else to occupy your mind because you're there 24/7. So the Lord is testing you to see if you're working, if you're at your job, doing your job, or you're going to wander after something else, okay? So that's what it comes down to. So that's the whole reason here for the Lord says, do not hearken. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer or dream, for the Lord your God proveth you, to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Okay? So that's basically all of that. So that's the litmus test. So, but a lot of people that do not have the Torah and they follow for other religions where people do wonders, they do healings, and all these things happen in all kinds of religions. People pray for the Virgin Mary, for the Virgin of Fatima, and they get healings. They get all these things. But that's the whole thing. God says, you like the fringe benefits? There's no better fringe benefits than the ones I created at the beginning, because you could live more than 1,000 years if you had not fallen. Those fringe benefits, nobody can ever equal those things. But is that what you want from God, just fringe benefits? Because you go to work and the fringe benefits come second. Okay, but that's a lot of people offer the fringe benefits. Resurrection for the body, healing for the body, heaven with a mansion in the skies. All those are fringe benefits, not the character of God. God knows. You want fringe benefits or you want my character coming out of you? And everybody goes for fringe benefits because that's how we're trained in the society. I don't care who you are, but in the Mulectic Garden, I don't blame you if you go after the fringe benefits, because the Mulectic Garden, the monument, is not really what we were created for. So in the monuments, people go to work for a company. And it's the same company that does another company where you do the same thing, offers you better fringe benefits, than where you are, you go after the other company. You want the better father. You can't help it, But when you are with the Aleph Beth, with the original one, you understand the economy of your body, you understand there's nothing better than that. Okay, so you're not going to go after any other fringe benefit, because you will realize where you come from. But the rest of the world do not know these things. That's why I'm very patient with those that do not know the Torah, because this was a test for the Jewish people. They knew the Torah, and they were going to wander off, And, so the thing is, so they're not after people, like I say, if you did not like the stuff that you could just leave and go serve another God, but you were not allowed to try to persuade. If you say, I want to stay there with Jewish people, when I want to persuade them, while I'm in there to go after other guys, then you got killed. Because you were not there to be driving somewhere. It's just like in a company. You work in a company, you have given you have signed in that you are working for them. You're not going to take anybody away of there, or, you sign even confidential things that you're just going to keep everything for the company. Because they want you to be loyal to the company. If you want to open your own company, take people, you're fired. Because you're burning down the company by your actions. So you'll see all these things happen, but we'll get time to explain that. But let me end up with a song. Yeah, and I gotta sing you this song. Because this is exactly what we do. We have to enter. Okay? To enter into the app. Okay? So let me put it here so we can sing all of this. This is 5 verses. Some of you will remember this song. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gate with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and let us bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations. Hallelujah, glory, hallelujah, praise God. Hallelujah, glory, hallelujah, praise God. Hallelujah, glory, hallelujah. 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 You see that? So that's why we make a joyful noise. And that's, we're shouting, understanding, what is involved in the care of the delivering of the Aleph Beth, that you are a zillionaire when it comes to bringing words into the atmosphere, and when it comes to bringing cells, you are a zillionaire in cells. You're a cellionaire for cells, productions, nothing compares to that. So that's worth making a joyful noise. So we make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. That's my invitation to me. Because in this day in which this economy doing about the Great Reset, I'm telling you, if you come and you enter the strong building, the strong tower, the bar, the gate, the dalet, the door, the bed, the house, and the economy and the rules. So that's what it says in verse 4. Okay, and then it continues. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. It's worth singing. We don't go to work because we have abundance of sales, abundance of words. We have such a great economy. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. In other words, He has made this. He has set me up the way that I am. I know He has made us and not we ourselves. And we are His people and the sheep of His pasture. And He takes care of giving us billions of cells every day. He does all of that. We don't even pray, God, give me some more billion cells tomorrow. None of that. He just takes care of that automatically. He's about His business. He knows what He's doing. He knows how to take care of it. So we enter into the dabar. This is what we're enter into His gates. To enter the dalet. Just enter into the Word of God. Enter into the dabar. Enter into His gate with thanksgiving. We're going to that building. We're going to the alphabet. Full of thanksgiving. And that's the offering of the korban of thanksgiving. With thanksgiving of our lips, we dedicate all of our mind and all of our hearts to Him. And for the Lord is good, it's functional. We go there to make a product that functions. We go to reveal His character. That is the only thing, the great epidemic that is missing at this hour, all right? Okay, so now let's take you to here where you guys are to make some money. All right, so how we doing? All right, let me go here. Yes, themselves. Yes, over here getting into. All right. Yeah, that's good. There we go. Big Pharma is a joke, correct? Retarded garden ecosystems. Yes. Yeah. yeah, I love Mickey Mouse, the character, too. I'm not making fun of Mickey Mouse. That's just called because of the expression they used to, they call that the happiest place on earth. So there's no way you can make this economy the happiest place on earth, but you were made, for Him. That's why we enter with flow with gladness, and all of that. So, hey, it's good to see you guys having a good time with this message. All right. This guy giving you heart and giving Him praise. Yes, that's another one too. Very good, people. All right. Now, let me see how we can do here with some money. All right. First $50. All right. Okay. Okay, first question. See if you guys were paying attention. $50, first $50. Notice that almost every other week I'm kind of doing 1 week of 70 and 1 week of 50. 1 week of 71. Because right now it's a lot of work. I'm getting a lot of work. So when I get a lot of work, I got a little more money. That's why I do it that way. So if I get less work, then I'm just going to stick by 50. But right now, thanks be to Hashem that's gave me more work in this, in this monument, because I don't need too much of that. So everything that's extra, I just give it to you guys. So that's why we do it that way. In any case, for the first $50, all right, let's see who answers there. I told you that God made us an alphabetaire. That means there's no end to all the words that we can read and understand and proclaim and narrate and recite. There's no end to that. It's not like we're limited on that. But He also made us a zillionaire in the sense that we have a lot of cells in our body. So what is the amount of cells that a regular body has? Let's see somebody pay attention. The amount of cells of a regular body. See, somebody comes close to that and see who's going to say it first. Let me get mine. All right, let me get the thing here. All right, somebody got it. Hey! Okay, let's see here. All right. Bearfruit's paying attention. You're right. 37.2 trillion. 37.2 trillion cells we have in our bodies. Imagine that. Woo! Such an economy, ourselves. And they're on circulation, There's no, it's a magnificent cryptocurrency from God. He keeps it going. And the dead cells, the ones that put in, and so it's a constant. So by the end of your existence, so that's like a perpetual amount that stays there, but someone dies, someone come back. So by the ones, in circulation is way more than that. If you count all the circulation, all the bodies, all the cells that cycle your body, there's way more than that, but that's an average. So that's correct. Bear fruit, it's the first one. You get $50 here. Perfect, very good. All right, now for the next two, you cannot participate anymore, Bear fruit. Don't say anything. Let somebody else try it now. So Bear fruit got the first 50. And here we go. All right, very good. So, when I say that we are supposed to serve the Maker, Okay? Now, if we don't serve the maker, what do we end up serving? That has to do with the title of this message. If we don't serve the maker, what do we end up serving? See, somebody pay attention. If we don't serve the maker, what do people end up serving then? It has to do with the title today. You see who else? Think a little bit. Put your thinking cap. You don't serve the maker, then you're gonna serve what? This has to do with the title for today. Ha! All right, I think you got an answer. Frail monuments. All right, frail monuments. The monuments are correct. So that will be Brian Wanta. All right, $50 for Brian Wanta. Yeah, we don't serve the maker. We serve the frail monuments. And I call frail means just weak. Because all the monuments, all the strong buildings that people go to work for, there's nothing compared to a single cell, that you have in your body. Remember that? So you are way more magnificent than any of the frail monuments. That's correct. So that's Brian Wanta. All right. So Brian Wanta and Bear Fruit, you cannot participate anymore. Gotta let somebody else now answer. All right, let's see here. For the last $50. All right. Let's see somebody pay attention to this one. This is gonna be a little hard. Okay, your cells in your body, each cell have between 50 to 150 powerhouses, it's called. Okay, now this powerhouse, this energy provider, what is the real name for your body? What's the powerhouse for your cell? What's it called scientifically? Anybody pay attention? Let me see. Let me see if somebody said first. Somebody better get a room. Okay, I think we do have a winner, Brianna Duran, mitochondria. Very good, very good. Mitochondria, that's the powerhouse of the cell. And you have between 50 to 150. I guess you guys learned a little bit of biology today and anatomy and stuff like that and made some money. I'm glad you're paying attention. Okay. So all the people with B's, Bear Fruit, Brian, and Brianna. All the B names got money today. So Brianna Duran gets to have this one. Okay. Very good, you guys. You made some money and you learned something good. So I hope that you are always eager to represent your maker and don't let anybody that worships the monument put you down. All the economies of the world, all the political systems, all the religious systems, all of that are nothing compared to what you have with the alphabet and the alphabet, and the way that he had made you. So congratulations to each one of you. I hope that you get to enjoy this and get to have more fun, and invite some of your friends next time too, don't just get all the goodies for yourself to join us. I try to tag as many as I can, but you are welcome to invite any friends once you get in here. But I'm glad that you guys made some money, so congratulations to Bear Fruit, congratulations to Brian Wanta, and congratulations to Brianna Duran. All right, now may the Lord mightily bless you and keep each one of you, and let me close with a little commercial here. Let me go to my main office for a nice commercial to put in here. There we go.